Imagine waking each day feeling as though you're balancing on a tightrope, arms outstretched, fighting to keep from plunging into the chaos below. That's the exhausting emotional and mental toll of dealing with someone who seems incapable of seeing your perspective. Someone who consistently dismisses your feelings or belittles your thoughts. It's draining, isn't it? But what if I told you there's a way to navigate these interactions without losing yourself in the process? A path that allows you to maintain balance and safeguard your inner peace, no matter how challenging the person before you may be. That path is rooted in Stoic philosophy, and today we'll explore how you can communicate effectively with difficult personalities, without falling prey to manipulation or sacrificing your sense of self. We'll delve into strategies inspired by Stoicism that could save you time, emotional energy, and even redefine the boundaries in your relationships for the better. These tools draw from time. You're someone committed to mastering not just situations, but yourself. It's tempting, I know. When someone exhibits egocentric behaviors, lacks empathy, or systematically ignores your perspective, the urge to label them as narcissistic can feel overwhelming. Perhaps you think naming their behavior will wake them up or force them to change. But consider this core Stoic insight. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It's not events that disturb people, but their judgments about them." This means that our labels and judgments, like calling someone narcissistic, shape our experience of them far more than their actual behavior does. Labeling someone rarely fosters self-awareness or inspires change. In fact, it often triggers defensiveness and aggression, causing the person to shut down or retaliate. Carl Jung expressed a similar idea. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This reminds us that our reactions, like the impulse to label someone, reveal more about our own triggers and limits than about the person we're dealing with. Instead of labeling, a Stoic approach invites you to focus on what lies within your control, your own actions and reactions. Epictetus taught that men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. By setting aside labels and focusing on managing your responses with wisdom and detachment, you open the door to more constructive dialogue. This isn't indifference, it's resilience, protecting your inner peace. Rather than accusing or labeling someone, address specific behaviors and their impact on you. Instead of saying, "You're a narcissist," try, "When you do X, it makes me feel Y." This kind of honest, clear communication invites reflection without building walls between you. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, the virtuous balance between extremes, and it applies here. Find a middle ground between honest communication and emotional self-control. This approach fosters understanding and opens the possibility for growth, for both you and the other person. Gaslighting is another powerful weapon in the manipulative arsenal of someone with narcissistic traits. It happens when they distort reality to make you doubt your perception or sanity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Accusing someone of gaslighting, especially if they don't recognize it in themselves, rarely leads to the desired outcome. Instead of prompting acknowledgement or change, it often triggers defensiveness. This aligns with another Stoic teaching. We cannot control others' perceptions or actions, only our responses to them. Epictetus wisely observed, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." So, when dealing with someone who may be manipulating the truth, instead of accusing them directly, focus on your own understanding and emotional response. Don't give them more power by engaging in a cycle of conflict that drains your energy. By maintaining a calm and measured demeanor, you can distance yourself from the emotional chaos they're trying to create. Acknowledge your feelings, and instead of launching into an accusation, express clearly how you feel. When this happens, I feel confused or frustrated. By focusing on your experience rather than attacking their character, you keep the focus on what truly lies within your control, your mental clarity and peace. This not only helps you maintain composure, but also shields you from being ensnared in their manipulative web. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of self-mastery. Rather than trying to change others, we focus on what we can control, ourselves. By choosing your words carefully, addressing specific behaviors, and meeting challenges with resilience, you protect your peace and empower yourself to navigate even the most difficult interactions. Over time, these strategies can transform your relationships and help you live a life anchored in clarity, wisdom, and inner strength. This isn't just about managing others. It's about mastering your response to them and reclaiming your energy. If you find this approach valuable, remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more practical, transformative insights. When you find yourself in a situation where you feel someone is gaslighting you, the temptation to confront them directly, accusing them of manipulating reality, can be overwhelming. However, this often escalates the conflict, turning it into a defensive battle where the other person may double down on their distorted version of events. Instead, take a stir. This approach allows you to stay grounded in your own reality, avoiding entanglement in their warped narrative. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we hold power over our minds, not external events. Your strength does not lie in trying to change someone else's perception, especially when they are attempting to manipulate you. It resides in maintaining clarity and perspective within yourself. Gaslighting is designed to make you doubt your reality, but the key is to hold firmly to your truth without losing yourself in the chaos. Carl Jung offers another layer of insight. Understanding our own inner darkness is essential for dealing with the darkness in others. Rather than focusing on confronting someone's manipulative behavior, turn inward to examine your emotional triggers and reactions. When you are attuned to yourself, you can navigate difficult interactions with calmness and resilience. Avoiding impulsive reactions. Even the Socratic method of questioning can be applied here. Instead of accusing someone outright of manipulation, try asking open-ended, calm questions about the contradictions you notice in their words or actions. This invites the other person to reflect on their inconsistencies, often leading them to realize the truth on their own. It keeps the conversation productive and non-confrontational, increasing the likelihood of positive outcomes compared to direct accusations. Though the instinct to confront someone engaging in gaslighting may feel urgent, the Stoic approach of focusing on self-control and preserving your integrity is far more effective. By safeguarding your perspective and avoiding unnecessary arguments, you protect your mental health and maintain inner peace. Remember, your power lies in how you respond, not in trying to change others. Finally, it's natural to reach a point where you feel someone will never change, especially after countless frustrating interactions. You might feel the urge to tell them they'll never improve, hoping to provoke some kind of transformation. But from a Stoic perspective, this is a dangerous path. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own actions and reactions, not on judging or controlling the actions of others. Telling someone they cannot change locks them into a static version of themselves, potentially creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. They may become defensive, feel rejected, or even dig deeper into their harmful behaviors. This can stifle any possibility of genuine growth or change. Instead, Stoics advise cultivating emotional detachment. You can encourage positive change without clinging to specific outcomes. The Stoic concept of impermanence reminds us that change is always possible, though it may not happen in the way or time frame we expect. By remaining open to this possibility, you protect your peace by managing your expectations realistically. So, if you're dealing with someone whose behavior seems immovable, focus on specific actions rather than their character. Address the behavior calmly and objectively, expressing how it affects you and what you need from them. In doing so, you inspire change without attacking their core identity. It's about modeling positive behavior and reinforcing the actions you wish to see, rather than forcing change through negativity or rejection. When navigating challenging interactions, particularly with individuals displaying narcissistic traits, it's crucial to adopt a balanced and reflective approach. Instead of declaring someone beyond redemption or insisting they can never be forgiven, Stoic philosophy invites us to embrace a more realistic and grounded. Stoicism doesn't demand naivety or miraculous transformations, but encourages fostering understanding that allows growth for ourselves and others without becoming entangled in emotional outcomes. Stoic philosophy teaches us to remain calm and clear-headed in the face of adversity, ensuring that external circumstances do not dictate our emotional state. This practice of staying centered is about living in harmony with both our nature and the nature of others. It doesn't mean ignoring wrongdoing, but choosing how to respond, aligned with our values and virtues. When dealing with narcissistic behaviors, forgiveness can be particularly complex. The Stoic approach isn't about declaring whether or not we forgive someone. It's about prioritizing our inner peace. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This perspective reminds us that forgiveness is more about preserving our serenity than condoning another's actions. Rather than expressing anger or making emotionally charged statements about withholding forgiveness, Stoicism urges us to cultivate emotional resilience. By choosing not to engage in heated discussions about forgiveness, we avoid escalating conflict and intensifying negative emotions. It's vital to remember that, in Stoic thought, the focus is on how we respond to situations, not the situations themselves. By keeping our responses calm and measured, we preserve our peace and sidestep unnecessary conflicts. Forgiveness, under this lens, becomes an exercise in understanding human limitations. Seneca, another great Stoic, said, "To err is human, to forgive divine." Stoicism doesn't demand forgiveness in every instance, but advocates responding with compassion and emotional maturity. Choosing to forgive or not should arise from a place of understanding, not anger or a desire for control. Aristotle's concept of the golden mean is particularly relevant when considering forgiveness. This idea promotes balance, avoiding the extremes of holding grudges indefinitely or forgiving too quickly without acknowledging the harm caused. The key lies in finding equilibrium between emotional detachment and compassion, allowing healing without being consumed by negativity. From a psychological perspective, figures like Carl Jung highlight the importance of integrating our shadows, those darker parts of ourselves and others that are difficult to confront. When dealing with narcissistic behaviors, this could mean recognizing the harm done without rushing to judgment or confrontation. This process fosters emotional maturity and greater self-awareness. One particularly useful Stoic practice is silent forgiveness or emotional detachment. This doesn't mean ignoring the harm done to us, but choosing a path to healing that doesn't require the other person's acknowledgement or apology. By focusing on what we can accept, setting healthy boundaries, and prioritizing our emotional well-being, we reclaim control over our peace. Ultimately, forgiveness in Stoicism is a personal choice. While refusing to forgive may feel empowering in the short term, it often generates more internal turmoil than resolution. By focusing on emotional detachment and inner peace, we free ourselves from the impact of others' actions. In doing so, we preserve our strength and serenity even when navigating challenging interpersonal dynamics. In every relationship, the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation guide us to act with integrity, ensuring we focus on our own growth while maintaining inner calm. Each interaction becomes an opportunity to practice these values and strengthen our emotional resilience. Through these principles, we learn to navigate our relationships with greater understanding and peace. The power to do so lies within you. So keep practicing and let your responses reflect the quiet wisdom of the Stoic path.